Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to another game. This is on Sturzdorf against the Manbastel, who is playing as Panzer Elite. Today's date is February 23rd, 2026. It's a lovely Monday. Yesterday, Arsenal won 4-1 against Tottenham. I don't know if any of you guys out there are into football, and by that I mean European football, not American. But it was a great day for us Arsenal fans. And I'm just gonna turn it up a bit here because I can already tell that it's not loud enough that you guys aren't gonna hear shit. And this is a game I played on Saturday, if I recall correctly. And it's against Manbastel, who is a much more experienced player than I am. I believe he has around 12,000 games altogether, most of them ranked. And he's level 7 PE 2v2. He's level 9 PE 3v3. I'm level 5 US 1v1. So it's a bit of. I keep asking everyone where you're from. Half the people don't tell me. I'm just doing it, to make conversation. Not that I really care. Um, it's a bit of a, once again, I've talked about this in another video. I believe it might be a bit of a mismatch to pair people who are level 5 with somebody who's a level 7. But to be honest, like, he's level 7 in 2v2, right? Nevertheless, he's so much more experienced than I am that even though we are similar levels, 1v1, it's not really that similar, right? But anyway, he's playing against PE. I maybe mentioned this, that I have a really poor record against PE. I just struggle fighting against their infantry. But this is a great game in my opinion. It's a very long game. It's gonna go very fast until it gets to the later stages, and then when it gets to the later stage, I'm not gonna spoil anything, don't worry. But when it gets to the later stages, it's going to slow down a lot. And you're gonna see why. You may be wondering why I took this point if it's not connected with anything else. It's just to slow him down from taking it. That's pretty much it. Because he has the Kerin, which is a cheat code on its own. Um, I heard it a little bit with my Jeep, but he already repaired it. And the only reason I took this point was to keep it out of his hands for longer. No other reason. And I'm already pressing him here. But his guys are in green cover when they're behind this. What is this? This is like a three pails of bricks, right? So obviously this is a losing engagement for my guys. There's no way in hell not even a six-man infantry squad can win against two Panzer Grenadier squads who are in a house. So I just soft retreat them, and they're gonna go do some capping here. But anyway, as you can tell, that Kettenkrad, just the fact that Panzer Elite has a vehicle with the only purpose being capping grants them so much capping power in the early game. It's insane. And I don't know why he retreated this squad, the full health squad. There was absolutely no need. He could have kept him in this house here, and they would have put a lot of pressure. I would have had to retreat this squad if he just pulled his squad to the house here. He did not need to full retreat. I sent this jeep to kill the Kettenkrad, not to... I did not know that these guys are here. But yeah. While all that is happening, these guys have, like, no opposition to the capping. And they're gonna cap, obviously. And once again, he's forced to retreat here because my Jeep did a lot of damage to these two Panzer Grenadiers. Even if he didn't destroy the unit, he didn't kill the unit, he still dealt a lot of damage, and when my rifleman arrived, if he had stayed in the engagement, they would have been killed, because a healthy squad of riflemen against a half-health Panzer Grenadier squad is a losing engagement for them. And this is a really neat thing that you can do with the Kettenkarat. I'm just going to pause it to show you. He can get repaired, obviously, by the Panzer Grenadiers while he's capping. The same thing can happen with the squad car. They can also get repaired while capping. Americans can't do that. I mean, theoretically you could if you took armor and armor doctrine and bought with your experience points the raid option for light vehicles, which includes the Jeep, to be able to cap. But I didn't do that. Small engagement going on here. And the bar pop happens and they're all gonna die. Are they? No, he's gonna get away magically. But yeah, at this point in the game, as you can see, it's pretty level. He capped this. I knew he would, but it's not that big of a deal. This point connects all of this, so this fuel point that I got is now completely disconnected. But that's not that important for me. And I don't want them to get this. Are they going to get the bar? Ah, they got the bar. I didn't want them to get the BAR. That was poor for me. I think they got it. I don't think I got it. And this is a strategy that I started using lately a lot, especially against PE, is I started investing heavily into the flamethrowers because the Panzer Grenadiers are really, really powerful, even though they might not seem like that at first. And attacking them with riflemen alone often won't cut it. And even with engineers, it often won't cut it because engineers have grease guns, which aren't really powerful weapons. However, if you give them the flamethrowers, that flamethrower is going to eat up their health very quickly. And alongside a rifleman squad, an engineer squad and a rifleman squad together with flamethrowers can destroy a Panzer Grenadier squad very quickly. Even a half-health rifleman squad. So that flamethrower makes, as you can tell, I'm doing it now again, that flamethrower makes all the difference. These guys are already on 4 kills, that's why they got the veterancy. 1 kill, 0 kills. And it's a nice little flank. They obviously can't, no way in hell they're gonna survive this if they stay, so he does the smart thing, which is to retreat. And while that was going on, I completely lost focus, and that's why I didn't retreat these engineers on time. Which is poor for me, but, you know, it is what it is. And as you can tell, it's already 500, 377 for me. Hold up, I have to pause this. Well, sorry for that. That was my girlfriend calling. If you thought you recognized my ringtone, it's Lana Del Rey Religion. Lana Del Rey is pretty much my favorite musician of all time. I mean, I would say she's top 3 of my favorite musicians of all time, but yeah. That's why that was my ringtone. I'm not gonna edit it out. We're gonna continue from this point onwards. I'm not going to edit that call out. Anyway, what I was saying was that I knew that they would capture this, and this is a very important point because if you capture this, he doesn't get anything from here or from here, right? And what I was talking about were the victory points, right? At this point, he's already on 360, and I'm on 500, obviously. And this is a this is a big lead, a 150 point lead, and we're barely 8 minutes into the game. And that tells me one thing, that he isn't really particularly concerned with it because he thinks that he's going to kill all my guys. The grenade goes in, it's a good grenade kill. It's a great grenade kill, but I have to get the hell out of there. Because he thinks he's gonna kill all my guys before I get a chance to win him victory points, and that I'm just gonna drop. And that's just not gonna happen. In my mind, I mean, that's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna try to win in victory points, and at this point, he's kind of realizing it, so he's starting to cap victory points. He activated that mine here. I'm sorry I didn't get that on camera, but that was obviously good mine placement from me. But you're gonna see now he's very slow, because I'm gonna throw a grenade in there, and it's the most obvious grenade throw ever, and it takes him ages to get out of there. And he doesn't. And at this point, I'm slowly starting to overturn his initial dominance that he had, that was granted to him due to the fact that he's PE. He's slowly starting to lose it, and I'm gonna put another mine here because I know he capped this before. I know that he's going to try to cap this again. And there's a huge force of Panzer Grenadiers and a Luftwaffe squad coming to destroy me. And as you can tell, at least one of these Panzer Grenadier squads is armed with a Panzerschreck, which I have no idea why he's doing that, given that I don't even have... I'm about to build it. Am I? I wanted to say that I don't even have a motor pool, but I think that I'm about to build a motor pool. And he tried to get me from here, but as you can tell, I stood my ground. Maybe I should have went into the building, and it is now a completely different game. Even though he is winning on numbers, I committed to flank, and the Luftwaffe squad is down. And I have a Vet 2 rifle squad right now, which isn't necessarily enough to win this engagement, but it's still, he suffered so many defeats, he has to bail the hell out of there, and he's getting close to 250. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm building a supply yard, which means that I'm going to tech up. He doesn't know that, obviously, but I do. I don't know why these riflemen aren't capping. They should be capping this. I don't know why I didn't send them there, but at least they're going to deal some damage to these guys. The triage center is up, which is very, very important, because I need to be able to heal, as Chester Bennington would say. I wanna heal. I'm sorry for that. I'm a huge Linkin Park fan. And it's like a form of autism with the constant singing. So this was a poor attempt from his side. Because I have two squads. I think he saw that I had two squads because I was so close to this fuel point, it offered him vantage. And if you're going to attack, I apologize. I have to cough now. I'm sorry. I just woke up and I'm drinking my coffee while I'm recording this. So, and I just realized that I probably sounded like a 28-year-old woman from California. He probably had vantage from this fuel point. He knew that I had two squads here, one of which was Vet 1. And if you're going to attack these two squads, you're definitely going to need more than a single Panzer Grenadier squad. If he had three, if he committed all of these squads to flank and at the same time came with this squad, I would have been forced to retreat. However, this single squad, even with that one grenade, just chucking that one grenade in, it didn't do anything. One of my squads dropped to like, I want to say 55% health, but it didn't even lose anyone. And he lost two members of the squad. Plus, I don't know how much fuel it takes um, to throw that incendiary grenade. But however much it costs, it's not worth it because he didn't really do anything with it. And now he's building an AA gun. And the reason he's building an AA gun is because he's realizing that he's losing on points fairly quickly. And he wants to protect this victory point. And I don't believe that it's a good choice, but in his defense, the AA gun is so well placed, there's no direction for me to come from and cap without getting shot at by the AA gun. So in order to get this point, I'm going to have to mobilize something with heavy armor. So I'm not talking about an M8, we're talking about an M10 or a Sherman, and I'm going to have to destroy this. That's his logic, and it makes sense, honestly. He's forcing me to tech up by doing this. There's a Kettenkrad here that I have to destroy. He didn't drop, don't worry. He's still in the game. Probably just some connection issues. And I'm immediately sending my 2 vet squads. I feel like I'm not gonna say sorry, but I wish this was finished. This were finished because I wanted to cap it. I wanted to take it for myself. Because if I had, I think it would be GG pretty much. But yeah. And there's a Luftwaffe squad. And this is something that I don't understand. They're not even fighting, they're just trying to finish the AA gun. And once again, I'm just gonna grenade them to death. This was a very poor choice. He now lost so many units just trying to build and protect this AA gun. And it's still not finished. The Jeep is going to work on the Kettenkrad, obviously. He doesn't even manage to cap. He was so close though. But it doesn't matter, even if he had capped. What is it? What would the territory connect to? I have this point. I also have this point. He would have just decapped mine, but he wouldn't gain anything from it. And this is a proper flank. This is what I'm talking about. I have to retreat here. This is a lose situation for me. I cannot finish. I cannot finish them off here. So, and finally, I think this is the 3rd Luftwaffe squad in the game. And they're finally going to finish this AA gun and mount it, and there you go. And I'm just gonna bomb the living hell out of it. In case you're wondering, how did I even see them there? I have no idea. I think I dropped the off-map artillery while I was still retreating, and it just delayed for some reason, and that turned out to be pretty good for me, but I didn't like cheat or something. I don't know how because obviously to call in off map artillery you need to be you need to have you need to be able to see where you're aiming, right? So you need to have somebody nearby, a unit to throw it, and obviously there's nobody nearby, but I think I threw it while these guys were retreating and it just delayed. Unfortunately, I don't think it will destroy the AA gun. No, it won't. But I think at this point he's realized that he's not going to be able to annihilate his way to victory. He is going to have to try to win, try to keep this point, no matter how much it costs, and try to win this and hold me off for as long as possible, because he is not. I think he's realizing that I am not as maybe bad as he thought. Anyway, the armored car goes here and commits suicide. This was very poor for me. I did not obviously know that he had 2 Panzerschreck squads. If I had, I would have never sent him there. There was that was not done on purpose. The armored car can take a beating from the AA for a long time, but I figured that it probably was not full health thanks to the off-map artillery, which I'm correct because you can see it's I would say 66% health, something like that. So I thought that if I can just put my armor car here and just beat it for like 30 seconds, I'm probably going to have to retreat to repair it, but I'm going to get it down to 20% health. That plan didn't work out, so it was poor for me, but I should have done better there. But the reason I didn't, the reason it took me so long to realize what was going on, I could have seen what was going on when I was already here, was because I was focused on this engagement here. An engagement that I'm kind of winning, even though it's not perfect. Am I gonna lose? Oh my god. Oh no, I'm not. He should have stayed. He could have killed my, because this guy is on, I want to say, is that even, I think it's like 1% health. Look at it. That is pure fear in that man's face. He knows that he's lucky to be alive. But yeah, one thing that you probably noticed throughout the game is that he's very poor at dodging grenades. I've been chucking grenades throughout the entire game, and he hasn't tried dodging them once. While I have dodged his incendiary grenades. I don't know why he's not even bothered to do it, but either way, he lost a lot of units to my grenades. And you can see that I'm floating quite a bit of resources. I have 750 manpower. And the reason I have 750 manpower is because I want to build I want to build an artillery gun, and I'm aware that I'm going to have to reinforce a lot of troops. So that's basically the reason why I'm floating so much. And I'm planning to build a tank depot very soon. So all of those things happening at the same time. As you can tell, I'm reinforcing all of this, so it's going to cost quite a lot of manpower. And on his side, he hasn't built anything other than Kampfgruppe company. I don't know why. He's, oh my goodness, he is. If I'm floating a lot of manpower, but man, he's floating a lot of everything. He has a little bit less manpower than I do, but he has 200 munitions and almost 200 fuel. So this brother should be fielding some tanks right now. I don't know what he's doing right now. Because as you can tell, I have the fuel expenditure and the munitions expenditure of somebody who's constantly using both fuel and munitions. The only thing that I'm not using a lot is manpower, but that's because I'm preparing to use it a lot, because as you know, the artillery gun is 450 manpower. So as soon as I start building that, I'm gonna lose more than half of all manpower I have. But this brother isn't spending anything. But yeah, this engagement here, I don't remember, but I assume it's not going to go well for him. Once again, not dodging the... Oh yeah, he retreated, but he didn't do it fast enough. But he immediately has backup troops to back him up. And... And now I'm the one... See, as soon as he throws a grenade, I'm getting the hell out of there. And if I should now cap this. I should use these guys to cap this. Because if I cap this, all of these resources, he's not getting them. Although, considering the fact that he's not even using his resources, it doesn't seem like it's that important. But still, I should be capping this. But still, as long as I have this point, and this point, I'm chilling and I'm feeling good. Because it's 500 to 145, 144 now. And at this stage of the game, I'm very comfortably winning, which is why I'm not pushing with these guys, right? I'm not pushing with them because I'm trying to win on victory points. I'm not even gonna bother trying to decap this. I'm afraid of this AA gun. I know that if I send one of these squads to cap this, for example, they're getting shot at. If I try capping this, they're getting shot at. If I try circumventing and going around flanking, they're getting shot at. I'm not gonna waste guys to this AA gun until I have an artillery gun or a tank to destroy it. That's my logic. So for now, I just need to hold this point and make sure it doesn't get taken away from me, and the same goes for this point. And I should start building... Oh yeah, there's another I made. I think right about this time in the game, my howitzer should start building, I think. Is it? I think so, yeah. Yeah, they're gonna build it right there, and at the same time, he's committing to a massive flank. This is a good counterattack from him. Are they building? They're gonna start building any second now, I think. But as I said, those guys, they're very, very mobile. They can... And they dropped a Panzerschreck because I managed to destroy a squad. I'm gonna pick it up. and this is what he's spending munitions on, these grenades. I don't know how much they cost. I can't see it because of this dashboard, but that's what he's spending his munitions on. He's not spending any fuel though. And I played a similar game against Bismarck, I think, in which he went full infantry. He played Panzer Elite, but he went full infantry. He did not even bother to try to field any armor. I think he had one infantry half track, and that's it. And this guy, he didn't even have that. Aside from the Kettenkarat, the Kettenkarat is the only mobile vehicle he put on the field. And aside from that, he's just using this. Um, and at this point, I have no AT. I don't know if you noticed that, but I have no AT. And I have enough resources for it, but I just don't see the point in building it because at this point in the game, I remember while I was playing that I just started thinking like this guy is not building any, armor. I'm not gonna waste money on anti-armor units if I don't have any anti-armor, if I don't have any armor units to be afraid of. And he starts building this, and this is in my point, in my opinion, the point at which the game pretty much broke in half. Like the Titanic before it sank, because I think his logic was, I have this AA gun here that's preventing anyone from capping this. In order to cap this, my opponent needs to destroy this AA gun. In order to destroy the AA gun, he needs to come with at least one tank or an anti-tank gun. To deal with that anti-tank gun, I have a Panzerschreck Panzer Grenadier squad, and I'm going to build an 88mm flak, which, as we all know, and in case you don't know, now you're going to find out, it has a huge range, right? It can hit you even if you're like right here, right? This thing has huge range. So if a tank of mine so much as farts nearby, he's going to hit me. So pretty much this is completely closed off. The only way I can destroy this is with artillery or with rangers charging from the side and destroying this first, prioritizing this first, and then everything else. Because this flak is pretty useless against infantry, but if I have a tank, it can be destroyed in 2 shots, right? And this is, in my opinion, a good way to close off an area. Plus, he has another squad here. But the issue is he still has 2 other areas to deal with. He should try winning at least 1 victory point, and he doesn't have any mobile armored forces. All he has is infantry, this AA gun, and this 88mm flak. And while that's truly good for closing off this area here, I'm still gonna win if I keep these other 2 areas here. And he has 120 points, so he doesn't have a lot of time. He needs to take this point right the fuck now. And instead of trying to do that, instead of mobilizing some tanks, because once again, I have no anti-air, all I have is stickies. I don't have anything to deal with armor. So instead of mobilizing, for example, he has Wirbelwinds available. So instead of getting like 2 Wirbelwinds and having them escort the infantry to here and then capturing this point and keeping it, instead of doing that, he's just building this. And it's like he's trying to over-engineer his way to a defensive victory. I don't know how else to put it. And it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Because also, at the same time, we have now had 3 engagements in this area here. He lost every single one of them. He didn't manage to push me off. He lost every single one of them. Shouldn't you be prioritizing this area here? Okay, you have this on lock. I haven't even tried to get past this AA gun. I tried to get past it once with an M8, and your 2 infantry squads with Panzerschrecks took care of that easily. So why do you feel the need to reinforce? I think he's very paranoid about me coming with tanks. And the fact is, obviously he can't know this, but this is, I don't even have a tank depot. So, great players like Dexon and Devem and AECOH. I don't know if you know who that is, but AECOH is a caster who's doing a much better job than I am. He isn't casting that much nowadays because I hear he got a kid. He's a father now. He doesn't have time for it, and I'm happy for him. But he, in my opinion, is the best Company of Heroes caster of all time, a commentator essentially. And back in the day, he said that he's also a very good player. He's not on the level of Dex and Devem, BK Matas, Pepsi, and those guys, which are literally the best Company of Heroes players in history. But he's a very good player, and he has incredible understanding of the game. And he said that in order to win high-level games, this is, by the way, not a high-level game because neither of us are good enough to call ourselves that. But in order to win a high-level game, you have to anticipate your opponent's movements, right? So if you need to anticipate when is your opponent going to bring in tanks, so you can get anti-tank in advance. So when your opponent does bring in tanks, your anti-tank guns are going to be waiting and destroy it, right? And I think this is what he's trying to do right now. The thing is, he's overthinking it. I'm not even trying to bring in tanks. I wanted to bring in tanks roughly at this point in the game, but I'm not. Spoiler alert, I'm not going to field a single tank toward the end of the game because I'm going to recon this area out in a minute, and I'm going to realize that he has this flag gun. And at that point, I'm just going to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to play infantry for the rest of the game, and I don't care. I'm not gonna field any tanks. That's what's going to happen right now. So I think he's kind of overthinking it in advance, and he's trying to um, he's trying to stay one step ahead, but instead he's wasting resources on something that he doesn't really need. Because you're going to see this flak is going to see very little action towards the end of the game. It's going to shoot maybe like 10 shots throughout the entire game. And instead, he should be mobilizing, as I said, whirlwinds or some other armor, because once again, I do not have any armor. So he should be using armor against me to win this engagement here, to cap this here. That is my opinion. This here, I don't really think that he can cap it right now. But if he could mobilize these guys to flank and go here, he could win this victory point for a short while. Not for a long while, but for a short while, yeah. But what he really should do is mobilize some kind of armor to get here and to attack me here. And he's just not doing it. Also, he's not using mines. I don't know if I'm gonna say something very stupid now. I'm not really sure if Panzer Elite even has mines, because I never play with Panzer Elite. I think they do, right? They have to have mines. But, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. As you can tell, these guys are barely making it out alive. And my M8 took some damage too, but it's mostly fine. It can definitely go a few rounds more. I know that these guys have a Panzerschreck, but still, I feel confident. And he shouldn't have done that. I think he should have gone for my M8. And my artillery is it hitting here? Oh no, it's hitting here. And he managed to decap it. So props to him for that. If he wanted, you know what he should have done? He should have destroyed this victory point. He can do that as Panzer Elite. I think he has to go Scorched Earth Doctrine. And then he could have destroyed this point. And then we would have been in a stalemate. And I would have been forced to either repair it or try to go for an Annihilate victory. That's what he should have done. I mean, not saying that that's the only thing he should have done, just saying that it's another option that he could have gone for, which he didn't. And this is a huge flank that I need to get the hell out of. I'm gonna throw a grenade first though, because I know that he's not gonna dodge that shit. And he's not gonna dodge that shit. I managed to get a kill. And I managed to barely get alive. Oh no, I'm dead. Yeah, this one's on me. This was very poor for me. As you can tell, a crazy range on that 88mm flag, but it's pretty much useless against infantry. Pretty much useless against infantry. So I'm not really afraid of it. But this AA gun is something that I should be afraid of. It's gonna rip my guys to shreds. And I'm gonna try, and this is very poor from me, because I wanted to throw a grenade in there. I should have maybe waited for the howitzer shot and then dropped it down there. But at least now this is my artillery, by the way, hitting, and now I know where everything is, and my artillery, I'm gonna use my artillery to pound this 88mm gun. Speaking of artillery, well, let's check. I had 0 kills. But now I have 2 M8s. Both of them are gonna get all the upgrades, so it's gonna be quite a force to deal with. Even with Panzerschreck squads, if you have 2 M8s, they're gonna tear you to shreds very quickly, and there's an engineer squad right here to repair them. So this flak can reach all the way up to here, but this AA gun can't reach here, even though he knows that I'm here because see, if you turn off Fog of War and you switch to him, he knows that I'm here because he knew a minute ago. But the AA gun can't reach that far. Even though in theory, in real life, if I were the operator of this AA gun, I would have opened fire. And there we go! The first vehicle hit a mine there, which was a compliment to me, if you ask me, because it means that I placed it well. Didn't go well for him, but you know, finally he did something right. He managed to destroy an M8, but that's pretty much all he's gonna do. And still, he lost a lot of units, but look, I lost an M8, I lost an engineer squad. This was a good engagement from him. I would say that it went like 50-50. I wouldn't necessarily call this a winning engagement for him, or for me, for that matter. But it is a good engagement, because he finally did something. And there we go, now we have a Wirbelwind, which is a terrifying gun. Like, imagine... Hold up, let me show you guys this. Imagine seeing this. Imagine seeing this thing during the Second World War. This just looks like something out of a science fiction novel from the 1930s. And imagine you are an American or British, French, Polish soldier, whatever, USSR soldier, and you're going somewhere and you see this thing. How the hell are you supposed to explain to your wife and kids back home what the fuck it is you just saw? Even by today's standards, this thing just looks like it was designed to instill fear. It looks like more of a psychological weapon than an actual anti-infantry. I mean, it's not an actual anti-infantry weapon because it's a Flakpanzer, but you can still use it against infantry. But it looks like a psyop. God damn. And this is what I'm talking about. And immediately I'm putting an AA gun, an AT gun into production because obviously I'm not fucking around with no Wirbelwind, and I need an engineer ASAP to fix this. Let me just check how he's doing on. He still hasn't built anything other than the Kampfgruppe company. I don't understand. He's playing PE, but he's playing them like they're American. That's the best way I can describe it. He has a very American or British like playing style, and he's playing as Panzer Elite. That's the best way I can explain what's going on here. What's going on here? Breakfast. I don't know if you guys know that video. I don't know if some of you guys might be young. I honestly don't know the demographic of the very few viewers who are actually watching these videos because right now I have like between 20 and 50 views per video, so I assume most of you are my age. But that shit made me laugh insanely when I was a kid. And oh, he's gonna get away. And I'm building, yeah, the AT gun is ready. It's coming out right now. These guys are getting reinforced, and they're also rangers. And I don't know why he ran away from my rangers. He's very, very afraid of my infantry units because these two Panzer Grenadier squads would have destroyed this ranger squad. This is who should be afraid of the ranger squad, not these guys. Like, I don't know. And once again, he has flak here for some reason. If you're wondering why these guys aren't moving, their sole purpose from this point onward is keeping this point here. Aside from that, I don't care. They're safe from this A here. They're kind of safe from this flak here. I mean, the flak could hit them, but it would need like 10 shots to cause 10% damage, so I would evacuate them on time. And at this point, I think we're both realizing that the majority of the fighting is going to take place here. I love it how ineffective the Rangers are. First of all, their bazooka, they miss so easily. Like, out of 5 shots, 3 are going to hit, and that's just pathetic. And by the way, I know how handheld anti-tank, anti-armor guns work. I'm ex-military myself, but still, like, this is like, I don't know, I would say this is like 50 meters of real life distance. If you can hit a big ass flak panzer from 50 meters with a bazooka, I have no idea what you're doing in a ranger squad, man. And also the fact that bazookas have such low penetrative power, that's actually true to real life, but it's still killing me. And these rangers need to get the hell out of there, and they're gonna die, aren't they? I mean, I would assume so. Oh no, it's a flak panzer that's gonna die. And rightfully so. And now the AT gun is out, and I'm moving these guys in just because I want to protect my AT gun. And my AT gun stopped for some reason. Oh, they're at the mines. I don't know what they're called. I keep forgetting their name. I know how they work. They come down from the sky, and if you step on them, you get minor damage, but if you step on enough of them, you're gonna die. But I genuinely can't recall what their name is. And obviously I need to back up with my M8 because I saw that the 88mm flak was recaptured. So now we're waiting for a Panzerschreck, or the stickies are gonna go in. Oh, it's a sticky. And that was a waste of money for the sticky because I didn't even realize that this Panzerschreck, while I was playing the game, I completely forgot that this squad had a Panzerschreck, even though there's a sign right here that, yeah, I'm an idiot sometimes. But anyway, my howitzer is just gonna go to town on this thing right here, which is already almost 50% health, so all I have to do is just keep pounding it, and it's gonna die. He recaptured this, by the way, which is the first time in the game. We're 26 minutes in, and this is the first time since the initial stages that he managed to capture it. But he needs to do much better if he wants to turn this game around, because it's, 478 and 76 in my favor. And if he wants to really stop me from moving in, he should have dropped them here. These tiny butterfly bombs, that's what they're called. He should have dropped them here. But as you can see, he's very afraid of moving forward because he's kind of traumatized by everything happening. He thinks that all this force right here... I'm sorry, I keep getting the hiccups for some reason. He thinks that that whole force there is somewhere here, and if he comes here to drop the butterfly bombs, he's gonna get killed. When in reality, there's literally nobody there. The only thing, the most forward unit is this M8. Aside from that, I have pretty much no forward units right now. And if you're wondering why I'm not getting tanks in this late game, because a Sherman would be very nice right now, you know. Maybe even a Crocodile, even though I never used it in a ranked game because I think it's kind of silly. I think it's more of a gimmick thing to use in skirmish games than an actually useful weapon. But if you're wondering why I'm not getting tanks, is because of this thing and this thing. Like my tanks will be destroyed. This thing has such a huge range. As soon as my Sherman got to this line here, it would be destroyed. So there's just no point in me getting them until I destroy this, and so it's much better for me to invest into infantry. And I know I have 230 fuel, but still, I'm not gonna waste. Do you see how far away it hit? My guys were here and it hit. So I think the only area where Sherman would be able to operate is right here. But even if it got too close to here, it would be hit by that 88 flak. So I think I would just have to keep it here and literally not move it an inch. So I don't think it's worth the investment. But the artillery piece is going, as I said, going to town on this thing, and it just hit veteran C1 with 13 kills. And I recaptured this point, and I'm gonna capture this point, and I assume this point, as we're nearing the end of the game. We're getting into the very, very late stages. This anti-tank is getting repaired. I need to pick up the Panzerschreck. And he still has nothing aside from his Kampfgruppe company. I do not understand this playstyle with PE. If you're gonna play like this, you should have went Wehrmacht. If you're gonna be 80% infantry, 10% armor, and 10% fixed gun emplacements, you should have went Wehrmacht and not Panzer Elite. And he keeps getting, he keeps reoperating this gun, recapturing it for some reason, and it's just now been destroyed by my AT. What's the point of this gun? There is no, aside from this M8, there is no armor, and you can easily destroy this M8 with these guys if you just focus on it. So I really do not understand the purpose of the flag gun. It's such a waste of money for me. And as you can see, I built this, and why? Why is he dropping butterfly bombs around the AT gun? I don't think you're achieving a lot by doing that. The AT gun is not that important to me. I pulled it out when you had the whirlwind, and after that I barely even touched it. I used it now quite passively, I might say, to destroy this flag gun, but aside from that, I'm barely even using it. Why are you putting your... not many troops are going through here, but everyone is going through here. Why didn't you throw it here? Like, I do not understand. But yeah, it is what it... And he's building... I think he's trying to... I don't know if that makes any sense, what I'm about to say, but I think what he's trying to do, and I don't know if you can hear the frustration in my voice, because this makes very little sense from a real-life perspective, but what he's trying to do is called a forward defense. So he's building defensive embankments, so to say, while moving forward, because once he finishes this, he's going to be able to take this victory point, and if I try to retake it, I'm going to get fired upon by this AA gun. That's his idea of what you're going to see it right now. But instead of taking this, which is very important because he's on 37 points, he's taking this, which means it's pretty much GG at this point. Because this is the stupidest move of the game. And keep in mind, this guy's like level 7 and level 9 PE in 2v2 and 3v3 games. And I'm going to keep them from getting that point. They're not going to get it. And he should have gone... He should have tried decapping this. He could have decapped it. He could have. If he tried decapping this, he would have decapped it definitely. And that's what happens. It's pretty much GG at this point. That should be obvious. And still, he's not trying to cap this. He's on 19 points, and he's capping a fuel point. And there's, I mean, sure, there's an M8 here, but still. Brother is doing everything aside from capping this point. And I just don't understand the mental process here. And now he remembered that he had to cap it. And the flak is obviously going to open fire, is going to try to open fire on this. And at this point, it's, you know, he decapped it, sure, but I mean, at this point it's pretty much GG, right? Because you're not getting past this machine gun emplacement, you're not getting past this machine gun emplacement. And I'm essentially doing the same thing. I'm just better at it because this is also a defensive gun, just like this machine gun emplacement. But I'm setting it up here to protect this point. And he's not gonna cap it as long as this machine gun is here. He needs to come in with a tank or something and destroy this. And he's not gonna do it. I just lost that M8. I have no idea how. Oh, I hit a butterfly mine probably. But yeah, it's pretty much GG. I assume somebody's gonna. I'm gonna speed it up a bit. There's no point in watching this in real time. Somebody's gonna cap this. Yeah, the engineers are gonna cap it, and that's gonna be GG. Oh, another whirlwind. Only 30 minutes too late. I should have dropped it here, truth be told, but either way, it's not gonna... It works out for me just fine. And now it's GG, because he can't decap that on time. He's gonna try to... Now he's gonna try to flank it. And once again, what is the purpose of butterfly bombs? I don't think... I've passed through this corridor here maybe 3 times in the entire game, and all of those 3 times were in the first 5 minutes. So... Just what the hell? You know... And that's it. Yeah, it was a... it wasn't... This was probably the least tense game I've played out of all the ones that I posted on the channel. Aside from that one against that one American guy who dropped after 5 minutes. But something that I wanted to comment on was that I obviously planned to bring out tanks and all that, you know, shenanigans. But once I realized that he's just going to start building flags everywhere, I thought, what's the point of investing into tanks? I'm just going to go full infantry with a little bit of anti-tank and light armor support, and that's it. And in retrospect, that seemed the right choice because the biggest piece of armor he pulled out was this Wittable Wind Flak Panzer. And aside from that, if I had invested into tanks, they would have just gotten destroyed by this flak right here and this flak right here. So that wasn't... I think that was a sensible decision from me. Otherwise, I think I played well. I think I should have... One thing that I should have done was I should have built this machine gun emplacement here earlier. And I mean, because I built it, the game lasted for 34 and a half minutes. I think I built it at like minute 29, I want to say. I think I should have built it like after 15 minutes. Because I don't know if you remember, there were a lot of engagements here. I won most of them. but I could have won them much more easily if I had just built this um, emplacement earlier. So yeah. Also, I don't know what else there is for me to comment on. This Jeep was idle for the majority of the game just because once this AA gun was built, I had no business going here with the Jeep. It would have destroyed the Jeep in literally a few seconds. Otherwise, I think this was a good game for me. I don't know, you guys can tell because I managed to keep three of my rifleman squads alive for pretty much the entire game. Two of them got to vet 3, one of them got to vet 2. My rangers, I lost one ranger squad, which was pretty bad for me, but I got another. And this howitzer really did pay for itself because it bombed the living shit out of this area, and every single time somebody tried to repair something here, it would just bomb it again. And the same story happened here. So yeah, I think it was very good. As for Manbastel, I think there are two really big problems around his strategy in this game. The first one was that he absolutely did not even try to use armor. This is the biggest piece of armor in the game, and if we're playing Panzer Elite, I'm expecting Panthers at the very least. And he brought out two variable winds, and he didn't even use them right. These are anti-infantry. I mean, technically they're anti-air guns, but in the game they're anti-infantry guns, and you need to pack them alongside your infantry and push through my units. And he never really tried that with the variable wind. And secondly, he did bring out the infantry half-track ones, but that's, nonsensical, pretty much, in retrospect. And this, I believe, is a good move. Once he captured this, he built these defenses, and he put an AA gun here, and with that, he pretty much ensured that I cannot get this point here. And I think we should commend that. I think that's good. But I think building this 88 millimeter flak here is just so stupid. Like, I did not at any point even get tanks. I did not even try to get through these barricades to destroy this AA gun uh, to capture this point. So this is a very anti-tank emplacement with these Panzerschreck Grenadiers and this 88 millimeter flak. It's a very anti-armor defense setup, and I never went armor at any point in the game. So it was a roll of the dice for him, and it was the wrong roll. As simple as that. This in retrospect is a huge waste of money. I don't know how much of a 3680A flak costs in the game, but whatever the cost may be, it was way too much. And then he repeated the same mistake after realizing that I'm not rolling out any tanks. I don't know what the mental process was, but he for some reason said, you know what, he might, if he's not rolling out tanks here, he might roll them out here. So he built another one here. I just don't think that's sensical or sensible, whichever way you'll have it in any way. So yeah, pretty poor from him. So he needed simply more mobile armored troops, and I don't mean variable wins, I mean actual tanks. And this would have been a much more different game. I still think, in retrospect, I would have won. I was playing this pretty casually. I think I still would have won, but it wouldn't have been as easily because for the last 14 minutes, I was pretty much chilling. I was just recapturing this territory and making sure he doesn't get this, and that's pretty much all I did. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.